everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 9 of The Bad Batch Season 3, and it is the one that we've all been waiting for. It's the return of Asajj Ventress, and right away I can tell a couple people are going to be kind of upset with this episode because we didn't really get those answers that a lot of us have been looking for. So yeah, of course, Asajj Ventress had been killed off in a canon novel that was originally going to be a story arc in the Clone Wars TV show. And you know, since the trailer dropped, we've all been wondering, like, what's going on there? You know, like, they put out this article saying that they were going to acknowledge that she had died in that novel, and they're not going to ignore the events of that novel. And this episode, she's just kind of here. We only get this vague answer of like, oh, I've got several lives left, you know, like that's all we really get, you know. And some people are going to be upset, and honestly, I think at this point in Star Wars, like, this has happened so many times where we have these big questions and then they don't get answered, or at least like they only give us little tiny hints and we don't get real answers till years and years later. At this point, I'm really used to this, you know, so I feel like maybe just wait, you know. It's just like that old thing where you're like, you just gotta wait, you know, like sometimes the answers, you know what I mean, like it's not a priority right now. Given the context of where Asajj is at and who she was talking to in this episode, it didn't really make any sense for her to just come out and give all these exposition answers as to how she's still alive, especially because the Bad Batch wouldn't really know that she had died in the first place. So, like, you know, in the context of this episode, there's not really a place for her to start spouting off canon answers as to how she's alive. But yeah, basically she shows up because of course that's who Fennec was talking to, and she tells the batch of like, okay, M count, Jedi, she's a target for the Empire. She starts testing Omega, and basically by the end of these series of tests, she ends up telling Omega that, like, no, you do not have a high M count. But the group knows that she's lying about this. So basically she tells them, like, look, she might have the potential, but she would have to leave you guys, and you know, and of course they're like, that's never gonna happen, you know. And I'm sure this is all gonna come back up, right? Like, this seems like the setup of eventually Omega having to part ways with the group to be trained in some way as a Force user, right? Like that, this seems like the clear setup for that situation to come up. But yeah, that's basically where Asajj is gonna leave it, telling Omega that don't worry about it, you're not Force sensitive. But either way, Asajj is like, look, you guys are not actually safe here. I was able to find you guys easily enough. You might want to leave and go find somewhere else to hide, right? Now, the whole point of all of this was that the group wanted to figure out what the hell an M count is. That way they know why the Empire's after her and what they're doing. And it feels like they don't, you know, they're still kind of where they were at. Like, they know now it has something to do with the Force and Omega's potential in that. But what do they do with that information, really? I don't know how this connects to them finding the location of Tantiss and all that, but I don't know. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, Asajj is here. I'm sure we will see her before the season ends. You know, like, we have, I don't know, what, 5 episodes left? 6 episodes? I don't know. But I imagine we will see Asajj at least one more time. You know, they wouldn't create this 3D model of her and have her come back and then, you know, not have her do like one big action thing before she leaves the season. So yeah, she's back, she's alive, we don't know how. And Omega probably has the Force. They still leave it kind of vague, but I think they're essentially confirming it, that yes, she has a high M count, but you know, in order for her to tap into that potential and be trained in any kind of way, she would have to leave the group, and it would be really dramatic, and you know, and that's just kind of what's going to happen. Now, of course, we're all anticipating that not everyone's going to make it out of this final season alive, right? Like, that's kind of where we're all kind of thinking this is going. Like, not everyone's going to make it out of here. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to keep on waiting and seeing. You know, when is the group gonna make it to Tantiss, or figure out what's going on with Tantiss and free all the clones and all this stuff that the season's building up to? I mean, they know what an M count is now, right? I think, did they say the word midichlorians? I don't know if they actually said the word midichlorians in this episode, but you know, it's kind of funny how they they treat that word like a dirty word and they don't want to say it, which I think it's silly at this point. I think a lot of people who had a problem with midichlorians back in the day, you know, like it's been like 20 years, right? Or even, no, it's been longer than 20 years. I think it's okay, you know, at this point for the word midichlorians to just be said, right? Like, you know, Phantom Menace came out 25 years ago. It's okay. It's a thing. You just, you know, anyways. But yeah, that's the episode. Like I said, I can see some people being upset because we didn't quite get all the answers that some of us were looking for, but we did get, you know, a little bit of action, kind of a scuffle when they found out who she was, and she had to convince them that, like, look, yeah, I was a bad guy, I did horrible things, but I'm not a bad guy anymore, right? And especially given what happened with Crosshair recently, I don't think that I don't think the Bad Batch has much room to talk as far as, like, you know, bad guys turning into good guys, or at least not being evil anymore. Like, you know, you don't have much room for judgment given, like, the recent redemption of half your crew, right? So anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Bad Batch episode 9. Where do you think this is going? Are we seeing Asajj Ventress again? I would definitely think so, right? It would seem weird to bring her in for one episode and then she's just gone and, like, there's nothing else after that. Like, it feels like we're definitely seeing her again. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.